Cody in the morning. WSM. This is Coffee, Country, and Cody.
Welcome in. It's the A-Cup House Studio, our new home on the Grand Ole Opry Plaza on a sun-filled Nashville morning, wherever you're watching around the world. This is Circle Country Television at CircleCountry.com. All the streaming platforms are there that you can link to if you've got a favorite, or just watch us at Circle Country Television. I'm Bill Cody. That's Kelly Sutton with entertainment. Charlie Mattos, Annie Nye is our studio director, and rock solid Jeff Roberts is in master control. I used to say at the Grand Ole Opry House, but he's upstairs. Mm-hmm. He's right over us.
He gave us one of these too. Rock solid. He's ready to go.
And we got Tucker Wetmore coming to see us.
Yes.
Good to be Tucker Wetmore. A couple of singles out already this year. And he's on the Twister soundtrack.
And he's touring with Luke Bryan later.
Yeah, he'll be here in just a little while. And then later on this morning, it's 14 times, Charlie, Grammy Awards for Jerry Douglas.
Yes, 14, and then a bunch of IBMAs and 3 CMA Musicians of the Year. Yeah. And it's quite a trophy case.
I was going to say he has
trophy
to have
room.
He has to have a room at this point,
Yeah.
right?
Unless you
We'll
got
find out. We'll
Okay,
find
we'll
out
ask
where he
him.
keeps them.
Yeah.
Unless you got 8 fireplaces. Takes a lot of mantles to hold all of those.
Very true.
But Flux, Jerry Douglas of Allison Krauss and Union Station fame and solo fame with a brand new album called The Set. It comes out on Fridays at the Hall of Fame on Thursday of this week with us in just a little while. And last week, he was my pick of the week because he says, you know, I sing too. Mm-hmm. I'm an R&B star.
There you go.
Yeah, Something You Got, Baby, from 1961 is now a part of the Jerry Douglas catalog. And it was my pick of the week last week.
Oh, very good. Well, we're talking about Kelsey Ballerini coming up in just a little bit. New album is coming out October 25th, and then just 4 days later, she's doing it, y'all, taking on New York City. I've got the details about that coming up, plus how you can make a donation in her dog's name for something very, very special. So love the fact that she is now being very open about what's going on with her dog Dibs and how you can join in. They've now had a match up to $25,000. So for every dollar you donate, it gets matched. Details on that coming up. Plus, we lost James Earl Jones. We're going to look back on a career that is just so vast, over 6 decades. He passed away at 93. Some of the highlights of his career coming up.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
Got a little getaway planned or just thinking about it? Want to look around at tntrailsandbyways.com. Their recommendation is get off the beaten path. Take the scenic route. 16 different trail names across the state of Tennessee with over 1,300 recommended stops. And as far west as you can go down toward Memphis would be the Walking Tall Trail. As far east, northeast, if you will, up around Bristol, that's called the Sunnyside Trail. But Charlie, you're taking us to Rocky Top.
Yeah, we're going east as well, and I'm in the mood to eat and drink. A couple of years ago, we talked about all I wanted to do was go to cemeteries and churches, so we're going to liven things up on our tour of the state this week. 135 stops on the Rocky Top Trail, and just amazing food and drink options. So let's go to Townsend first. Dancing Bear Lodge and Restaurant right off the Lamar Alexander Parkway. Is that not quintessential Tennessee? In Pigeon Forge, the Mountain Valley Vineyards. They opened in 1991, the largest vineyards in all of our state. And the Applewood Farmhouse Grill in Sevierville. This was built in 1921. It was a 6-room farmhouse that's now a restaurant. It's also a working apple orchard, features a general store, a cider mill, and it's just phenomenal. And those are just a few of the 135 stops on the Rocky Top Trail.
Including the Sam Houston Schoolhouse down Maryville Way. Again, tntrailsandbyways.com. Take the scenic route. And if you want to take the scenic route outside Tennessee, Kalama, Washington might be a stop for you on the mighty Columbia River, Kelly Sutton, as we welcome Tucker Wetmore. That's his hometown. Population, when you ask him, you said?
Too many. But if you ask some people, there's not enough.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
About 3,000 folks, so.
Yeah, 2,500 to 3,000. It's growing for sure.
I think you have to always judge it. Do you have a stoplight? Do you have a caution light?
We have a 4-way stop.
Okay,
we have
all right.
We have 4 stop signs downtown.
That gives you some idea.
No stoplight.
Yeah, stoplight is big town. yeah. Over 10,000 if you got a stoplight.
John Prine's 4-way stop dilemma comes to mind. And the yield went around and around and around. And Pamela finally tried. And just then a man in a light blue sedan hit Pamela's passenger side.
Oh,
Do you know that from John Prine's?
No, I do not.
Oh, it's just beautiful. Well, great to have you in. Exciting
Thanks for having
things
me.
happening for you. A couple of singles already this year. The Twister soundtrack
Oh,
in
yeah.
your life. But the big news this morning is as you look out across the Opry Plaza, that's where you're going to be in a few hours for your Grand Ole Opry debut.
Yes, sir.
The Acuff House living room, our new studio.
Yes, sir.
When did you find out? Tell us how they told you were playing the Opry.
Oh, I found out, I want to say a couple weeks ago. So I'm working on a smaller project and then a bigger project coming up. And we were back home in Washington filming a bunch of stuff, like hometown stuff. And probably like second day, we were like, hey, let's go visit Grandma. And then I was like, all right, sounds natural. And they're like, let's film it to get some like back scene stuff. I was like, all right, I mean, that's why we're here. Then she presented the letter to me in like the coolest way possible. And it was awesome.
And what's her name? Your grandmother?
Judy. Grandma Judy.
Man.
Best cook in town.
Really?
100%.
How emotional was that for her?
We all cried.
Yeah.
We were all tearing up, and we got it on video, and I'm pretty sure I posted the video online. And
It's cool.
Did you watch it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, when I realized you were coming, I went through and I'm like, oh, this is really neat.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's a tearjerker for sure.
That's amazing.
And what was the Opry to you as a kid growing up in Washington, so far away? I mean, it's one thing to grow up in this region of the country and people have their Opry stories and memories.
Yeah, so I actually didn't know much about the Opry until I moved to Nashville, and I started learning about it. And actually, I remember in 2020 when I visited with my mom, she was showing me. I mean, it was shut down for COVID, like everything, so we couldn't go into the Opry. But she was hell-bent on showing me everything Nashville had to offer, and the Opry was one of the stops, literally like day one. And I stood right there in that little concrete area right there and looked up at the Opry, and I looked at her that day and I was like, I'm going to play here one day, and I'm doing it today. So
that's when his mother broke a window and they climbed in. Took a look
I was like, why do you have a ladder?
What's happening right now, Mom? Is she going to be there tonight? I'm sure.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Yep.
That's so good.
And
That's so exciting.
I'm sure for you 4 years seems like a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, that's pretty fast, really.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think from 2020 to debuting tonight.
At times it felt like a lifetime for
Yeah.
sure. But
You started on piano when you were, 11 or so, I read?
yes, sir. Yep. I started playing piano when I was 11. I'm all self-taught on everything. It's like early days was like Jerry Lee Lewis or like Queen or Billy Joel and stuff like that. So I just learned by ear.
So you can do Bohemian Rhapsody?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You got a piano? I'll do it right now.
That's a great party trick right there when you got that
yeah.
one up your
Yeah.
sleeve, for sure. So what were you listening to around the house? Like what were your parents playing and what was kind of seeping into your pores?
Your daddy was a hard rocker, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. A lot of like Avenged Sevenfold, Three Doors Down, stuff like that. Metallica. I grew up on a lot of reggae too. So I come from a Samoan family on my dad's side, and it was just always reggae and like cookouts and always pig on the grill, But and then country radio in the truck, like almost 24/7. So.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know that
It's a
I've
good
ever
blend.
known anybody in our format who has a Pacific Islander background like that.
I don't know many either, if any at all.
Cool. That's amazing.
Yeah.
But then when you go to any of the Pacific Islands, country's huge. Like that is such a huge
Oh, yeah.
format there that everybody loves it.
Have you heard like the reggae country crossovers? So there's some there's some reggae bands or reggae artists that'll cover like new country that's coming out, and it's you should check it out. It's the coolest thing in the world.
I love this. This is really exciting.
Well, catch us up on your tour life these days. Pretty exciting news going on.
Oh my gosh, dude, it's a lot. We literally booked out until I want to say like December 15th after today. I leave tonight right after the Opry to go on another run. But I got the farm tour coming up, which I'm super excited about with Luke Bryan. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And then I got my fall headline tour. So it's my first headline tour, and I'm super excited about it. It's almost completely sold out right now, and it's looking good. So I'm excited.
How much pressure does that put on you, though? Because it's different when you're jumping on Luke's tour, but then when it's your name, it's like you're throwing a big birthday party and you hope people show up.
Exactly. That's a great way to put it. Yeah. I mean, I hope people show up. That'd be great.
They're obviously showing up.
The ticket sales are saying they will, but
That first night, I can see you peeking through the curtain.
I do it almost every night. I peek through the curtain. I'm like, there's a lot of people out there.
I hope they like me.
Absolutely.
That's so exciting. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So is there a time from the stage that you can remember? Because you can tell, I mean, obviously people are enjoying the show, but they're actually like singing the songs back to you. And that's a good mark that, we're onto something here. You know?
Absolutely. The first time it ever happened to me was, so I wasn't playing many shows when like Wine to Whiskey and Wind Up Missing when I started teasing those songs, especially in Nashville. And I said yes because my buddy asked me, he was like, hey, you want to come play this Riders Round at Live Oak? I think it's called the Uncut Experience or something like that. And he goes, hey, you want to come play this? And I was being super innocent. I was like, yeah, sure, why not really realizing what's going on around me. And my team sat me down the day before, and they're like, hey, do you want to back out of this? Like, you don't know what you're signing up for kind of thing. And they're like, you can't really do these things in Nashville because it's going to be like a whole event now. I was like, no, I'll do it. It's not going to be that big of a deal. I show up, packed out to the street, almost down the street. It was packed out, and I'm like, dang, there's a lot of people here. Like, this is a big event. And they're like, no, they're here for you. And I was like, I don't believe that at all. And so I got up on stage. I played a song that was unreleased, and then I think I played 4 songs total. Played 2 unreleased ones, and then I played Wine into Whiskey. And as soon as I started singing that, people started freaking out and like singing every single word. And I can't remember if it was released at this point or it was about to release. I think it was released for maybe a week, and everyone sang every single word, phones out, flashlights. And then Wind Up Missing You wasn't out yet. And we do this thing live where I sing the chorus a cappella. And this was actually our first time doing it, me and my guitar player. So I started singing the first chorus a cappella, and the whole place erupted and sang every single word. And I was like, how do you know this? This isn't even out yet. And that was probably the first moment
That's cool.
that I can remember. Yeah.
What is the moment in time that triggered the flame?
I want to say it was around February is when I released Wine into Whiskey. So it was like February time. Yeah.
That's a good time to get started on it.
I guess.
Straight into 2024.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
Well, Tucker Wetmore is here on his way to the Grand Ole Opry House tonight for his Opry debut. And what do you think about the new place here for WSM Radio? You never came to see us in the old place.
I have not. This
all
is
you
nice.
know. Yeah.
This is nice.
This is Mr. A. Cup's living room.
Oh, yeah?
And we learned yesterday from David Corlew, who spent nearly 50 years on the road with a Charlie Daniels outfit, that Charlie brought him over here one night, and it was Crown Royal and cranberry juice.
I can't say that I've had those. Have you done that?
I've done it. Oh, yeah.
What's it taste
Crown
like?
and cranberry.
It tastes like Crown and Cranberry. And it feels great.
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all think I sound, but I think I sound great. That is Tucker Wetmore on Coffee, Country, and Cody. He's with us in the studio this morning. That wood that you're sitting on is wood from the Ryman Auditorium stage that we built our stage here in studio.
Really?
Yeah, it's the same circle you'll be standing in a few hours. Same wood.
That's so cool.
Centerpiece of the Grand Ole.
I'm going to take a little
stage.
piece with me.
If you get a splinter, it's actually good luck.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
as
what we
we
like to say.
watched and listened to Wind Up Missing You, you told us that's your girlfriend, real life girlfriend
Oh, yeah.
in the video.
I have one, I swear.
Tell us more.
She's not made up.
It was a chance encounter at a local restaurant, you said?
Oh, yeah, we met. There's this place called Sam's Bar and Grill on Old Hickory here in Nashville. And I was walking out. I was walking in, she was walking out.
Oh, what was the line?
I tripped her.
You did
kidding.
not. No, what was the line? Did you drop a line on her? We got to hear the pickup line.
No, it was quick. So she was with someone else that I know.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, what's up? How you doing? And then I was like, hey, I'm Tucker. She goes, hey, I'm B. And then I didn't talk to her for months. And then she slid up on my story a couple months later on my birthday. She goes, happy birthday. I was like, I'm in. I'm in.
Oh, that's easy.
And she's from Macon?
Yes, sir.
What brought her to town?
It's a good question.
Was it the music business?
No.
Nothing related to what?
She models and stuff like that.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like opportunity, I guess.
Oh, That's awesome. Well, you've got 2 nominations now for the People's Choice Country Awards. Congratulations
Thank you so
on that.
much.
That's going to be held at the Opry House, and we were just talking about it off air. You're touring, so you won't be there when Shania announces your name as a winner.
Here we go.
So sad.
September 11th, tomorrow, Abingdon, Virginia, Washington County Fair, because you said you're leaving right after the Opry tonight. Atlantic City, Hard Rock Cafe. Then the 14th, you'll be at Catholic Health Amphitheater in Farmingville, New York. Hershey, Pennsylvania. That's the first of the Luke Bryan stuff. Did you know Luke before? How did he reach out to you?
I've never met him. I haven't met him yet, and I'm super excited. All I hear is the wildest stories about him, which I won't share any right now. But
all true. They're all true.
All true.
By the way, your first tour stop on the farm tour is the Bow Creek Farm and Cattle Company.
Oh, that'll be good.
Sounds like my kind of party.
I was getting ready to say, you
absolutely.
fit right in.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. So the fact that you haven't met Luke, like, have you thought about what you want to ask him or what you want to talk to him about?
I don't know yet.
Am I putting this in your mind? I'm sorry.
You are. Today kept me up last night. That's going to keep me up tonight.
I'm sorry. I'm making it worse for you.
Make sure you work in the fact your girlfriend's from Macon.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Get the Georgia
That'll
connection.
be the icebreaker.
A local, local connection there.
That'll absolutely be it. So I heard that you bought your dream truck.
I did.
Tell us about it.
It's really nice.
Okay.
And I love it.
Was that the first big purchase? You were like, I'm going to do this for me.
It was.
Okay.
Yeah. That was my first one. I don't know. It's been a goal of mine for as long as I can remember, along with a couple other things that I've done, but just the opportunities that I've been able to do. And
so what'd you get?
I got a 2024 Denali Ultimate HD.
Nice.
Yeah, 2,500.
Okay.
So
Is it
diesel.
Silverado blue?
Oh no, it's not. I see what you did there, though. It's black.
Missed opportunity.
Because he's got a great old truck in the artwork for this single that comes out on Friday, and I think you said you're actually going to do a world premiere preview of sorts tonight on the Opry.
Yeah,
Silverado blue.
Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. And another thing, I got another song that I'm playing second that I haven't played yet live at all. And I'm really excited about it.
Fearless.
Yeah.
That's what
I was like, let's do it. Let's jump in the deep end.
Man, cannonball into the deep end.
So tell me about your football years at Montana Tech.
Yes, sir.
The Ore Diggers. I happen to know that.
Oh, yeah. Roll Diggs.
Yeah.
It is.
Butte, Montana.
Yes, sir.
The richest hill on earth.
Oh.
It don't look like it.
Yeah, that's because they mined it all away.
Oh, yeah.
Back in the day, right?
Absolutely.
So, football, you obviously did well in high school and decided to play some college ball?
I tried. Yeah, I mean, I think I was all-state my senior year, something like that. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
Your mom knows.
My mom knows. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll call her up. But, yeah, I mean, my college years were short-lived. I played a year of football in Montana, and at the end of the year, I broke my leg for the third time, so I was like, I'm out.
The third time?
Yeah. Well, I've blown out my left knee twice, and then my right leg / ankle once. That was the last one.
Yeah, okay.
All related to football?
The first one I was playing capture the flag in 6th grade. I jumped over a kid, and I landed wrong, and I tried to run after that. I was like, that's not right, so I just fell over.
And the second one?
Football. Okay. My junior year.
And then the third one was football again?
The third one was football, yep.
Well, I think you're safer on stage, probably.
It depends on the venue.
I was going to say, don't ask Ernest. Ernest fell off the stage.
Depends on the crowd.
Well, Luke just fell the other day, too.
We've seen Ernest fall.
Luke's notorious for falling on stage.
Is.
You ever see that video with someone threw the phone on the stage and he slipped on it?
Yeah.
And then he just
goes,
laid there.
Whose phone is this?
That was great, Luke. That's great.
Well, congratulations on the Twister soundtrack. That thing is red hot, and I think there are 26 or so tracks, artists.
Do you have 2 songs on that soundtrack?
I do. Yep.
Well, that's nice.
Already had it, and then Steal My Thunder with Connor Smith.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
Pick up. Joe, pick up the phone. Open up, man.
Connection saves lives. Reach out and check in on a loved one today.
Boy, as powerful as that is to hear on WSM Radio, even more powerful to see on Circle Country. Wounded Warrior Project, this Saturday's Opry Live, circlecountry.com. I hope you'll join us, your friends at Wounded Warrior, making it happen. And you can find out more at woundedwarriorproject.org. Not only find out about what they do, but you can donate. There's a donate button when you get there, woundedwarriorproject.org. Good morning, Kelly Sutton.
Good morning. Good morning to everybody listening to us. We've got a lot of entertainment headlines to get to. And the first one is so exciting for Kelsey Ballerini. She is releasing her she's releasing her next album, I should say. It's called Patterns, and it's coming out October the 25th.
It's the debut of her latest album.
It's the debut of her latest album. That's exactly right. I was trying to think how many this is for her. We've been waiting for this for a while. In fact, she kept saying, I'm in the studio, I'm working on something, because she hasn't been touring. And a lot of her fans are saying, when are you going to do the tour? And she said, I can't do the tour until I release an album. So it was chicken and egg kind of thing. Well, now we get the chicken and the egg. It's all happening in October. So October 25th, Patterns is going to be released from Kelsey Ballerini. She's already given us the Noah Kahan duet that she has on there, Cowboys Cry Too. It also has a song on there called Sorry Mom, which I'm kind of obsessed with. She also just announced she is going to be doing her first show at Madison Square Garden, headlining that night. Tiger Lily Gold is going to be there with her, doing a little opener, but it's one night only. Kelsey Ballerini, Madison Square Garden, October 29th. So if you want to get those tickets, they're going on sale on her birthday, which is 2 days from now. You can get your tickets and go see her at Madison Square Garden. I may or may not have already booked a flight.
Tiger Lily Gold, I Try to Ring On.
Yeah.
What a
Such a great song, isn't
My
it?
Goodness.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
So congratulations to all the good things coming for Kelsey Ballerini.
And the reigning ACM new
duo of the year.
New duo, okay.
For Tiger Lily Gold. Unfortunately, did not get a nomination in Duo of the Year category this year for the CMAs.
Well, I referenced earlier, I think Charlie is trying to book
Add them
this
to the
so that we
list.
could just kind of have a circle session moment, if you will. We'll just all gather here in the living room. And I didn't get a CMA nomination, and I'm really mad group.
It's a big
There's
group.
a lot. There's a
Yeah, it's a much bigger group than the group that
Well,
did get nominated.
We'll do
so.
2 sessions.
Yeah,
Yes.
there we go.
Yeah. Morning and afternoon.
There you go.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. So this is really interesting for Kelsey. She put out some news a couple weeks ago about her sweet dog Dibs. Dibs is the dog that she adopted in 2015. He has been with her through thick and thin. We love Dibs. She calls him Dibby. He got a diagnosis just a couple weeks ago of inoperable heart cancer. So there's a tumor on his heart. It hasn't grown significantly. They are treating it. He's not in any pain. But sadly, there's not a whole lot that they can do for him.
We lost a dog to that.
She's just devastated.
She just kind of faded away. You know?
So, she said, we're going to try to extend his life because he's not in pain, but keep us in your thoughts and prayers. Well, there are some girls that have an incredible fan page for her on Instagram. It's called Kelsey Central. They got together and said, you know what? I think we need to do something to not only honor Dibs, but to also uplift Kelsey. So they came up with the idea of making donations at Best Friends. So bestfriends.org. It's the Best Friends Animal Sanctuary. They are doing a fundraiser in Dibs' name. It's called Donate for Dibs. And the money raised will help all of the shelters around the United States move a little bit closer to becoming no-kill shelters. So basically their tagline is, let's try to save them all, which I think is amazing. Bestfriends.org is where you can find more information. They're doing this fundraiser now. They're at $11,000, but they had someone step up and say they would match every donation up to $25,000. So if you feel so inclined and you want to make a donation, you can do that. You can find the Kelsey Central girls on on Instagram. It's just Kelsey Central. Very easy to find. And again, bestfriends.org if you want to make a donation.
And Charlie looked a little earlier. They were at 11,000, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
22 with
they're
the match.
doing well.
An hour or so ago.
Yeah, it's really, really neat. So I love those girls. They're amazing. Let's talk about legendary actor James Earl Jones. This is the voice that we've heard for over 6 decades, and sadly he passed away at the age of 93. What a
Charlie,
life.
he is your father.
Yeah. What an incredible life, well lived. Just grew up in New York and started in the 50s through the 50s, 60s, 70s. I mean, he's been a part of so many things that we know and love, but I think the most iconic line was this one. Take a look.
He told me you killed him. No. I am your father.
The I am your father is it's so good. He was also the voice of Mufasa in The Lion King, Coming to America with Eddie Murphy.
My son works.
My son works.
He was King Jaffa from
Yes.
Zamunda.
It was so great. I mean, so many iconic roles. He had 2 Tony Awards, which I didn't even know about. Just an incredible voice. And as you mentioned earlier, the voice of CNN. This is CNN.
He was a stutterer as a child, I read, as a part of his bio. He is,
No.
Yeah, he is from born in a little place called Arcabutla, Mississippi. Arcabutla, Mississippi.
Really? And then when did they move to New York? 'Cause it said
1931.
he grew up in New York.
Of course, he lived
Yeah.
in New York, and at the time of his death, he was living there, but I'm not sure when the family moved.
That's crazy. Oh my goodness. Well, definitely a life well lived. 34 years of marriage to his wife. She passed away in 2016, and he lived to be 93 years old. James Earl Jones.
Says when he was 5, he was raised by his maternal grandparents, John Henry and Maggie Connolly, on their farm in Dublin, Michigan.
Oh, he moved around a lot. That's probably why he had the no accent, right? The Midwesterner accent that everyone strives for when you're in broadcasting school and they tell you you don't need an accent.
So he was Brethren, Michigan High School, which was at that time called Dixon Rural Agricultural School. And then he went to the University of Michigan as a pre-med major.
More coffee, country, and Cody is on WSM.
How about some Jared Douglas in the studio this morning on the famous Ryman stage that sits in the Acuff living room? This is where it used to all go down. You said you'd never been in here when Acuff was alive.
I've never been in the house. No. He wasn't in the practice of bringing a lot of people home with him at night.
Now, how about the dressing room? Anything?
The dressing room was party central.
Was that the first stop when you got there?
Oh, he had a refrigerator in his dressing room. And it was always full.
And would your first visit, would that have been with the Whites?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. I guess it would have been with Buck and Sharon and Cheryl. But I played here with J.D. Crowe. We played this building in 1975.
All right, because we just turned 50 back in March. It was 1974, so.
Yow. Yeah, well, I was here a little bit before that, too, but it had flooded. Couldn't get in.
Well, it's great to know that you've got new music coming on Friday, an album called The Set. 16 times you've won Grammys, and you're going into the International Bluegrass Music Association Hall of Fame a week after your album comes out. And you're nominated 3 times, too, that night.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going.
I see you show up.
I think I'll go.
I think you should.
You just talked me into it. It's great. I love going there. You know, I have hardly missed a year of the International Bluegrass Music Association's convention that they have. In the past few years, it's been in Raleigh, North Carolina. Next year, it's moving to Chattanooga.
Oh, no kidding. I don't think I knew that.
The whole thing is moving to Chattanooga. They move it around every few years.
Yeah, because it was here for the longest.
Yeah, it was here
went
for
to
a
Raleigh.
while. And there is a it's off. And it was here for a little while, then it moved to Raleigh. after that. And Raleigh was a great place for it because Raleigh is North Carolina. It's where Earl Scruggs came from. It's where all of these great bluegrass musicians, especially banjo players for some reason. There must be something in the water around Shelby County there.
Well, in that area, I mean, that's where so many of them live, much closer to Raleigh than they do to Nashville.
They did.
Of the current bluegrass musicians.
They do now. And you know, way back when Charlotte was the big radio station, before Nashville really got the 500 million thousand watts radio station, most of them lived closer to Charlotte. And that was good for them, but you know, besides that, you know, Bill Monroe started bluegrass music, and he's from Kentucky, the bluegrass state. But I hold that bluegrass music wasn't really bluegrass music until Earl Scruggs stepped on the stage of the Ryman with Bill Monroe and turned the place inside out. That was the birth of bluegrass music.
What year was that? 45?
47.
47.
What were you listening to growing up? What was playing around
Nothing
the
in
house?
47.
No.
But what I listened to around the house, my dad would be going to work at the steel mill up in Ohio, northeastern Ohio, and he'd be getting up to go to work, and he'd put on a Flatt and Scruggs record. Okay. If the Flatt and Scruggs show from here in Nashville didn't make it all the way up there, you know, and
so the WSM signal was intermittent.
Yeah,
because of the weather.
We were so far away, and the weather would get between us. And if the weather was too bad to listen to the radio, he'd put on a record, a Flatt and Scruggs record. So I was Flatt and Scruggs for breakfast. And yeah, you know. So
man, that would make a great album title, wouldn't it? Flatt and Scruggs for breakfast.
Just don't tell Bill Monroe.
Just don't tell you. It's already been done.
Yeah, Tom T wrote Bill Monroe for breakfast every day.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, he did. You know, Tom T grew up in Olive Hill, Kentucky. And yeah, man, he was getting a full blast from WSM there.
So when did the dobro become a part of your life? Was that your first instrument?
Well, my first instrument was a mandolin because my small hands it was easier for my small hands. And then I got a guitar for Christmas, Sears Silvertone guitar, and pressing the strings down was a lot like playing a cheese grater. You know, so it was like,
action was a little bit high.
Little high. And so just a little higher and we could be a dobro. So I thought, that's not the reason I started playing dobro, but I saw Lester and Earl in 1963. And I told my dad, I said, if you can raise my strings on up like maybe a 1/16 of an inch, I'll learn to play like that guy up there. And who knew, man, I would meet Josh Graves, you know, the guy that was playing the dobro up there with Flatt and Scruggs.
Where did you see them?
I saw him at Stambaugh Auditorium in Youngstown, Ohio.
How about that?
And I had somebody look it up for me, and it was like October the 6th, 1963. That was the day my mind escaped.
I was just looking, Jerry. Since then, you have played on more than 2,000 studio albums and tracks for George Jones, Garth Brooks, James Taylor, Paul Simon, Emmylou Harris, Elvis Costello, and on and on.
You're dropping names now.
And then there's that Allison Krauss and Union Station.
Oh,
outfit.
them. Yeah. I mean, that's home. You know, for me is playing in that band. But I have a band of my own, and this record, the set. Is that band. You know, it's just four of us, but and we didn't have a bunch of guests in or anything like that, which is currently a very popular thing to do.
A lot of collabs. Yeah.
We're not really shooting for best collaboration anywhere right now.
So what's the deal? Jelly Roll and or Lainey Wilson were not available when you were cutting?
That was it.
Jelly Roll was there for a second, ate all the donuts and left.
Sounds about right.
Oh, that's funny. Well, you have certainly toured the world, and you're playing the CMA Theater next Thursday. And what I love about that room is it feels like those old European theaters, those triple decks. I mean, it's just a beautiful room.
It is a beautiful room. And I was so happy when they built that room because it's the right size. You know, in this town we have a bunch of different ones, but not anything of 600 to 800 people like you can put in that little that in the CMA is a big room, but it feels small when you're on stage. It feels small, and that's really good for the entertainers, and there's not a bad seat anywhere, so it's great for the audience.
And you'll be doing that again a week from the 19th, which is
next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Coming right up. Oh, I better tense up.
Next Friday is the release of the album on the 20th. So the 19th is the CMA Theater show at the Hall of Fame. The 20th is the album, and the 29th is your induction into the Bluegrass Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So a lot going on in the life of Jerry Douglas. Now, speaking of the set, last week my pick of the week was Jerry Douglas. And a thing called Something You Got. And I actually saw the video on this of you guys having the best time ever. An old R&B hit from 1961 that has been cut by nearly 70 different superstar artists through the years.
But not this way.
Including, like in 2012, you and Eric Clapton did it. And he did the vocals, but you're doing the vocals on it this time.
Yeah, it's on my record. It's on my record. Well, both of them were on my record, but he's not here, so somebody has to sing, and that's me. My name's in bigger letters on the front, so I get to sing.